Hi, finally home from Beaver Lake. We haven't been home since, gosh, I don't even remember the last time. And we left 85-degree weather and we come up here and wouldn't you know it, it's 46 degrees, freezing cold. I'm in the garage getting tackle ready and just unpacking stuff and trying to get, just feels good to have a good big long break coming up. 4 weeks we're going to be home. So getting ready to go fishing up on Presque Isle Bay. But we had a whole bunch of questions for Beaver Lake and it's good to see. We've had just a few for all the other tournaments, and this one really had a whole bunch. So things are picking up here at the website, and don't forget you can ask questions pertaining to me or anybody, really. I could track anybody down out there on the tour. If you want to ask somebody a question, just contact us on the website. Dave from Arkansas, congratulations on a check at the Mud Hole, Beaver Lake. What do you think is the problem with you and that lake? I've heard you say you usually have a great practice. What's up? Well, I mean, that's a really good question, and what I really think is that it's just a coincidence. I mean, it just happens every time that I'm there. We have a major weather system come through. Like two of those tournaments I remember specifically had some fish located that were way up the river, and I keep going back. I just love flipping and love catching largemouth more than those clear water spots, and I found them up there really, really good, and tournaments have been won up there, lots of them. So a lot of times I'll just, have a one-track mind and just forget about the spotted bass and run up the river, and it's killed me twice. No, actually 3 times. But 2 times it was based on the weather. We had a lot of rain and the area got muddy. Other times, like last year, I was throwing a DT bait. It's like a DT 16 or DT 14. I can't remember which now. But a big crankbait through the timber out in the deeper water, and was just catching the snot out of them in practice. I mean, Alton can attest to it. We were thinking, man, this is finally the one, and wouldn't you know it, it just didn't happen. We had some lightning storms, and that was the end of that. So I'm chalking it up as a coincidence, and that's pretty much all I can say. This tournament should have been better. I was in the right area, just lost a couple of key fish, but I'm happy. Okay, this one's from Carrie in Arkansas. Saw an awful lot of pro rigs at the tackle shop during your event at Beaver Lake. I thought you guys got all your tackle for free. That's a big-time misconception. I was at the tackle shop probably 4 or 5 times. It's a really good store. They got a bunch of stuff in there. They need to get some taboo jigs in there, but they've got top-of-the-line everything. So, we get stuff from our sponsors. That's about it. And there's lots of times, that you need different baits. I myself, let's see, I was in there. I bought a whole bunch of stuff in there, but the main thing I was going in there was for a brush hog. I've caught different fish on a brush hog. Zoom makes that. They have a ton of them at that store, and I was just buying some of those up in there, and different finesse worms. I use Yamamoto's cut tails. They're the best worm in my opinion on the market. But when you need a whole bunch of different colors and styles when you're working an area over and over and over, you need different worms and everything. So I, bought some different colors of those little finesse worms too. So, but yeah, that's a big misconception, man. We buy a lot of stuff. I remember when I was a rookie, went into Walmart and saw Roland Martin going through bargain bins, buying up all these crankbaits and stuff. So, and that surprised me back then. But that's the way it is. We still got to buy stuff. Are you satisfied with your performance at Beaver? Seems a little subpar. How about another top 10 soon, huh? This is Bill from PA. I think I know who this is. And Bill, I'm more ready for a top 10 than ever before. But as far as that Beaver Lake, it's coming in 69th. I'm still fighting a cold here. But that 69th was a good finish for me. I'm happy with that. I realized that it was just, I was this close to making the cut. Sometimes it's a really, really fine line. I was in the right area. But like I said, getting that 10 grand was pretty important in this tournament, just to get some sanity back, and I'm happy with that, because I could have caught a lot more weight and still only made close to 10 grand. So not bad. I'm glad I salvaged that limit the second day. That was real important to me, was be able to be consistent and squeak into that top 75. And I'll get one more. Why would you let your co-angler catch a fish like that? And I think this was on one of the videos. I don't know if it was on my day one, after the day one tournament. the first day of the tournament. You know, you draw a lot of pretty cool co-anglers, and um, this guy, younger guy, I kind of liked him, and I was rooting for him, actually. I caught a bunch of fish, and every time I'd catch one, I caught like 20 or so keepers, and I'd catch one that he needed, and it just kind of like makes you feel a little bit bad, you know. It's like, man, you need one more. He needed one more for like 4 hours, and it was just kind of a joke all day. I'm like, come on, man, it's time, catch one, get it over with so you can sit down and eat your lunch. And it came down to the last 15 minutes, and we pulled up to this dock, and I pitched in behind it, and like I said in the practice videos, I think the fish were spawning in this muddy water. You couldn't see them, but I think that's what was happening. Then I'd throw back in there, and you'd get that little bite, set the hook, and you come back with like the trailer on your jig bit off. So I'd put another one on, throw it back in there, miss them again, throw back in there, missed them. I think I missed that one maybe 3 times, and it just felt like a little spot to me. You know, those little spots were chewing on it, and a lot of times when they'd bite the trailer off your jig, you know, it turned out when you caught them, it was a spotted bass. Those largemouth seemed to pick it up and swim with it more often than not. So I put the boat up against the dock backwards. I was facing out in the middle of the lake, and I just held him there for a minute, didn't fish, and let him throw in there. And he missed it a couple times too. And then finally, when he set the hook on it and I saw the rod boat over, I was like, ah! You know, it turned out to be a 17-inch smallmouth, which I really could have used. But like I said, even with that fish and the one that I had skip across the boat, which was unbelievable. I mean, I set the hook on that fish, and it come flying. My jig went one way, and the fish come flying in, skipped right off the boat, and went out the other side. And I tried to kick it down, and I just wasn't fast enough. It was terrible. But you know what? That's why I'm satisfied with this finish, because everything, if it would have went perfectly, I even lost a good fish on day 2. If all that would have happened, I still would have made the same amount of money, and points don't mean anything to me right now. So that's why I'm pretty much happy with that, and that's why I let my co-angler catch that one, and I was happy for him. I'm not even sure. I lost track of him on day 2. I don't know if that helped him get a check or not, but that's it for this question and answer deal. Remember, we got Lake Tellico and Fort Loudon coming up. If you have any questions, even back questions, you know, going back to tournaments from the past, you know, we're getting a lot of new viewers on the site that are going back to Toho even and looking at the videos and stuff like that. So if you have any questions regarding any of the tournaments, don't hesitate to contact us. Right on the home page, just push contact us and type in your question. So we will see you in Tennessee coming up next.